Good evening, everybody, and welcome to That's Good Pasta, our weekly podcast about creepy pastas and spooky spaghettis and frightening. For I don't know what's another
Fettuccine?
pasta? Fettuccine. Thank you. And with me, as always, is my producer, co-host, tech boy.
Jared?
Say there you go. Say your name, Jared.
I'm
Tonight,
waving. I'm waving.
tonight we have a
Do you want to introduce this piece of work?
uh Tonight we have No Mercy, an Undertale creepypasta story. Um,
They all just clicked
oh,
off.
I know, but say like, and everybody stopped the stream. Yeah. So this is by an author named Chrome. No second name.
Google.
Don't you know? Yeah, Google put this together. This is a God, Jared. What? How would you describe this story?
Cringe.
Cringe. Hashtag cringe.
This hashtag cringe. This is like some guy played the actual No Mercy route in Undertale, but just wanted to make it as dramatic as possible. This is, you know what this is? This is
What is
Chris
this?
recanting his playthrough of the No Mercy route.
For those that you don't who don't know Chris, Chris is
You can
he's a
see
special
him. You
boy.
can see him on our Game of the Year podcast.
He looks just like you think he what he would look like. Just saying. Okay. Besides friend bashing, so this story is from the perspective of a person that isn't really into these kinds of games, but he's mostly just wants to hang out with his friend Mike on Skype, which okay. But apparently he really got into this game called Undertale. And if I believe it's upon the mention of the word Undertale, Mike had gone completely nuts about how heartwarming and revolutionary this game was. So he kind of gets into it, and the narrator is nameless, should say that. And he does a pacifist and a genocide run, which I'm like, okay, cool, and also a neutral run. And he just becomes so enveloped in the game, and it's the most wonderful thing. I think he even mentions what's that comic that was all cringy and emo? What was it called?
Oh, the one
Uh,
that Johnny
that
really
Johnny was
liked.
into. Um,
We're going after
God,
everybody, all the
I
friends.
know we are. I know. It's
Um,
on the tip of my tongue, and I completely forgot it. I'm so sorry.
I'll try to look it up.
So anyway, he gets into this, and then apparently he gets into the subreddit of r/Undertale, which if you have not gone to that subreddit, wear a condom and like a full bodysuit. Just just be wary, guys, because good lord. Anyway, upon the 32nd page of the Google search result, he finds this little gibberish and syntax. And since Mike, apparently, his friend Mike is into coding,
Mm,
apparently, I believe is how the kids say it.
Homestuck.
Oh, Homestuck. Oh, God. Yeah, Lord.
I forgot about that.
I did too. Um, so they find this little like line of code, and since Mike is really into coding, he gives it to Mike. He's like, "Hey, see what you can figure out." And Mike's like, "Okay, cool." A couple of hours later, Mike sent me a text. I was busy playing Team Fortress 2,
Made by Valve. Create.
made by Valve, and I didn't have the time to reply. He sent me another text. The match wasn't over, so I kept playing. He sent me yet another text. So I let out a sigh and quit the match, and I picked up my smartphone. Guys,
We can
yeah,
come back to our favorite
we
excerpts and
we can.
let's
So
just
Mike
try to get
texted me.
through this
He
piece of
says
work.
he says, "Dude," and I say, "Dude." And Mike says, "You are not going to believe what I found." I replied, "What did you find?" A download link, Mike said. I replied, in the code? Mike said yes. Check your email. So the our unnamed protagonist finds a download link and he says there are about 5 different download buttons, but the way that he worked it, there was this UT Root 3 was installing on his computer, and by the time he had it installed, the introduction of the game began to play. Legends say that those who climb the mountain never return. So he starts off and just tries to go through the game, and he was determined to do a neutral and pacifist run. So he did that. Now he keeps going through it, but he keeps noticing these weird differences, and he's like, something's just not right. So oh God, I'm trying to summarize this, guys. I'm so sorry. This is not easy.
Can you
Basically, he
summarize in an Australian accent?
oh God, I can't even do that. No, I can't even do no right. Um, basically, he is forced to go down the genocide run, but it's more violent and darker than the genocide runs that he's done before, which I think is an odd thing to say because it's like, you know
It
what? I did the genocide run, but it was darker this time. It's like,
and
what?
it's funny because it's exactly the same as the game.
It's the same game, guys, honestly.
He
And he
didn't
also
he didn't even
noticed
add anything. He's not like, oh, beds were coming off or I could see their entrails just spilling out. It's exactly the same as the
it's just
game.
it's just the game. Now, he had put the character Chara, which, if you don't know, is the canonical pacifist neutral character name. But when he looked at his name in the box, it said Fisks or Frisks. Sorry. It's like this whole other persona had taken over the character and was forcing him to kill people, was forcing him to kill monsters, was forcing him to kill. He has this thing for Undyne, which is a little creepy, um, but I think a lot of them
Doesn't
do.
yeah? I was gonna say I think that's most of the fan base.
It,
Isn't
it,
Frisk the main character's name in the game?
no, it's Chara and Frisk is the genocide path,
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. Let
Oh,
me double
okay.
check.
There's different names for different runs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also, the genders also switch, so which I don't
oh of
really understand.
course.
But sometimes they do, but
uh,
sometimes they don't.
uh,
It's Undertale, man. It's Undertale. So at one point,
ambiguous child.
ambiguous child goes into like a cave, and I'm not going to get into the whole thing because, good lord, it's like a 12-year old tried to write poetry, but he backs all these monsters into a cave, and they shout out, "You sick freak! Why would you do this? I can't be a star without my audience you just killed," because he just killed like a bunch of people. And who is this? Metaton? Yeah, Metaton Neo. And it was an insanely hard boss fight for the next few hours. I did the boss fight, but eventually I killed Metaton. But my character decided it wasn't enough. She slashed Metaton into scrap metal. Okay. I'm trying, Jared. I really am. This is a little painful. So the big thing happens. He gets to the final corridor, and it's Sans. Hey, kiddo. So listen up. You're not supposed to be here, and you know that fully well, don't you? You must have been pretty determined to find this place. So lively and happy. The perfect timeline to be in until you came along. All of the laughter turned into screaming. Alphys tried to hide them somewhere, but you found out that was the cave. You killed my brother, Papyrus. I saw it all, kid. You dirty brother killer.
You're just a dirty brother killer. He says like 10 times during this part.
I know. Okay, so battle after battle, I lost and Sans won. Sometimes Glaster blasters would show up and track my movements, making it impossible to dodge. Sometimes Bones would shoot out of a large wave, which was also impossible to dodge. Not a bead of sweat formed on Sans' forehead as I kept dying over and over. This was about the 40th time, and I still hadn't gotten close to beating him. Why do you keep trying? I'm always gonna be here. There's no way to get past me. Face it, kid. You're beat. Get dunked on.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay.
I like how he's like, I
Basically,
fought him a million times, and then I took a break, and then I
and
came
then I took a
back.
break. And then I took a nap. I came back. And Sans goes, were you not satisfied with 10 monsters? With 20, 30, or over 100?
How much is
You're going to
enough?
you're going to go past me and you'll make what's left of this timeline a living hell. So whatever you do, just remember this. It's too late now. You can't go back even if you wanted to. But I know you don't regret anything, you dirty brother killer.
Just remember, it's too late to apologize, and then that one song comes on by One Republic or whatever.
Okay. He ends up beating Sans and his force to watch as I was no longer in control. The only thing I could do was close the window, which wouldn't work. My character walked up to Asgore with a singular swipe. He knocked him down. His overworld sprite turned into dust, and my character proceeded onwards. Monster sprites appeared while the character was walking, laying motionless on the floor and faded to gray. My character walked past them as they faded to dust shortly after. My character proceeded onwards, determined and focused, but onwards to where? Question mark. Okay, sorry, I had this. My character was headed towards the barrier, and they stepped on it. They turned around. Their face wasn't Frisk's anymore, but Chara's. The game closed itself, deleted all traces of its existence, and shut down the download link. Nobody would know what happened, and nobody ever will. My friend finally arrived, Mike. I told him the game could only be played once, and it was really fun. He was delighted, but I could never tell him the truth of what the game was. We sat there watching sports and eating pizza. This guy does not watch sports. I'm sorry.
Or eat
There's no way.
pizza.
Or well, he might eat pizza, but there's no way this guy watches sports. I still feel guilty. Guilty over a bunch of video game characters, pixels on a screen. I said they didn't seem that real before, but now they seemed like real people to me. They were once again like family. And without hesitation, I chopped them to bits. As of now, I'm typing this 3 in the morning and I still feel bad about what I've done. I can't even rest my head. This game is on my mind. I've just completed it. Just before writing this, I searched for any remnant of the game left and found nothing. Well, nothing except this. To the admin hasslewhatever.com. Don't you know how to greet a new friend? Don't know what that means, but okay.
I
And
was
then
confused
thus,
about that last line.
I'm not sure what that is. I think it's probably part of the Undertale lore, like the friend type stuff.
Hmm.
And thus, Jared, we have reached the end of this epic odyssey of emotions and poetry.
I know what it might
What are
sound
you?
like, but 10 out of 10.
Wow,
Just
just up
riveting.
there with Cormac McCarthy, with T.S. Eliot, with freaking
With the
F.
Bible.
Scott F. Scott with the Bible, man. Jared,
So you didn't know about this story, right? You
I did
just
not
picked
know
it.
about
Okay.
this. I just picked it. I picked it, and honestly, the reason I picked it was because the person that did this, or at least the video I watched anyway, his name's Jordan Perry Segati, I think is how you say it,
Hmm.
and he was drawing a character of Sans whilst the story was being told. It was kind of a cool drawing, honestly. Got to give him some credit for the talent. But I had no clue what was inside this story. So, what are your initial thoughts on this masterpiece, as you put it?
Like when I first put it on, I was doing dishes, and then I had to stop because I was like, I had to write notes because this is bad. Um, I kind of want to see like if this guy has written anything else or like
Rome?
more recently to see if it's improved. Um, but no, it was triggering the whole time. Um, so but the ones that I picked out was like I'm not the type of person to latch on to trends. I was like, no, you are. I was like, you definitely. I mean,
I'm
you love trends.
different. I'm
And
special.
then he was like, everyone calls me a loner and like a
The Australian
weirdo.
accent didn't help, by the
Yeah,
way.
everyone calls me a loner and a weirdo. And he's like, but like 2 seconds earlier, he's like got a wife, and you're like, you're full of it. And then oh, the whole like he talks about Mike being self-trained in coding,
Yeah,
the
self-trained.
art of coding.
The art of coding,
And I was
yes.
like, oh my
When I
god.
when I heard that, I'm just like, I could hear Jared's eyes roll from my apartment.
And then
Wow.
the last thing that was like, I like how in the story he just says, Mike was calling, but I was playing Team Fortress 2. I was like, I'm surprised he wasn't like made by Valve and then like headed by Gabe or something like that. Just
Abe Newell,
it's like, oh
my
my
lord and
god.
savior.
It was just a bunch of it was bad cringy writing, Thomas. It
What
was pretty
what
bad.
my favorite part of this story is the fact that it's not scary. This is like the least scary story I think I've ever gone through. It's just a run of Undertale. That's all this is.
Yeah.
It's just the game. So uh,
And the really bad thing is like it starts off all cringy and stuff. Like I'm like, oh man, oh, I hate this guy. But then it just gets boring because it is just like a run of Undertale, and you're just like, this is,
like
there's nothing to
I,
keep me here.
I've heard like the haunted Sega Genesis cartridge of Sonic or the Link is Dead creepypasta. There's several of those.
Mm-hmm.
This was just like uh, okay, you're playing Undertale. Good job. Honestly, there are scarier things on the Reddit. So
And it would be better if it wasn't a game that already has like a genocide run. If it was just like a Sonic, because
yeah,
it doesn't
that,
have
that
that.
that's what made me laugh about that though. It's like this genocide run was darker. I'm just like it's kind of in the name, my guy. Like there's not like genocide light or a smattering of genocide. It's
Genocide JK.
yeah. Oops, the knife goes in. But yeah, I just the reason why I found this was because I was watching Super Eye Patch Wolf with which is one of Jared's favorite YouTubers. I'm pretty sure it's his spare animal. Um, it might be Jared, honestly, but he's just faking an Irish accent. Um, and also he looks different, but it still might be Jared. Anyway, he
I'm
did a
just
whole
like,
video.
shh, oh
Yeah, and I was like,
no.
oh, uh, he did a video about Undertale and just how crazy the community is. And I mean, I played Undertale. I like Undertale. It's a fun game, but I don't think it was the. I don't understand the obsession over it,
Yeah.
and more of what's more interesting about Undertale is the side aspect of Undertale,
Mm-hmm.
like the communities outside of the actual game. Like, I mean, Super Eye Patch Wolf was going through like there's like 7 or 8 different alternative universes to Undertale.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of those sound cooler than the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I haven't beaten it because I get kind of bored, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
And the
uh,
amount of like playthroughs I've seen, that I've never needed to play that game.
I don't understand how people do multiple playthroughs of this game. I mean, I knew a guy that I worked with, Eric, that American hero, Jared. Um, That's an inside joke. Sorry, guys. His son was absolutely obsessed with Undertale because he kept asking me. He's like, "Hey, you're young." I'm like, "Dude, I'm 30." He's like, "Yeah, but you're younger than me. Do you know why these kids like Undertale?" I'm just like, "I don't know. It's a kind of a cool game, but I don't really see the appeal." He's like, "My son's obsessed with this game. Just absolutely obsessed." He's like, he said that he did the pacifist run, and then do you know what the genocide run is? I'm like, yeah, I think so. And so I explained it to him. He's like, that's what he enjoys? I'm like, dude, I don't know. It's your kid, man. Like, it's kind of weird. But the kid was also like wearing like the Sans. He had the actual Sans hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people like go full out with the cosplay of this.
Do you know what
Do you
the
have a
Do
do
you
you
know
have a
what the
favorite character?
genocide run is? Going off of the title, I'm gonna say everyone dies.
Everybody dies. Now that could be a guess, but
Sans.
yeah. I
Sans is
think
cool.
I think that's about everybody's favorite character except for
Everyone
maybe
else
Undyne.
sucks.
Well, I there's a ton of people who love Undyne,
Yeah,
but like in a pervy way. I'm just like, oh,
yeah.
um,
People are
it does
obsessed with like
okay,
every character, but only Sans is like even Papyrus. I'm like, yeah, he's kind of annoying,
kind of
but
annoying.
Sans, he's pretty cool, chill dude, and I like how he's like he knows like everything's going
He's,
on.
he's aware of the fourth
Yeah.
wall. Yeah. Well, it's funny is that even this is gonna sound cringy. So, Comic Sans is my favorite font,
Mm.
and people give me some like absolute crap over it. They're like, "Oh, you just like the character." I'm like, "I didn't know the character existed. I just like Comic Sans." I actually got in trouble in high school because I wrote a paper in Comic Sans, and she's like, "This is not an appropriate format." I'm just like, "It's a font, lady. Like, come on, give me a break." Um, but yeah, this is just a oh boy. Uh, okay, and this one here, I actually enjoyed this one because I was laughing my butt off pretty much the entire way through
Mm.
because it is like the most cringe-worthy piece of crap you could ever listen to.
Yeah.
But it's not even scary at all. Like not even, doesn't even I want to say it doesn't even try to be scary. It thinks it's scary with the genocide run and the darker genocide run. I'm just like genocide plus? Like what are you doing? Like what is this? So yeah.
I was thinking
If
we should like rewrite it and try to make it.
I kind of want to try
Yeah.
like almost like if there was like a world where the genocide run didn't exist
Mm.
or or turns out uh the genocide run that you're running, your family are the monsters that you're like, it's like, what's that? That looks like my dad. Whatever. Turns out you're killing people.
Yeah.
That's a creepy pasta twist there. So, uh, and I'm kind of dreading this. I'm like, this is going to be our most viewed one, isn't it?
Probably.
If we do a Garfield one, oh my god.
I
Um,
love Garfield horror.
okay, I actually do too. I'm sorry, John. That is that's some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I kind of want to play Undertale now just for, why not?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this was a fun one. I would not put this high up there. Uh, honestly, I don't even think I'd recommend this one, but if you want to go for it,
Just play
good on
Undertale.
you. Yeah, or just play the game, honestly. Give the guy the money.
The guy
So,
reading it was fine. I I liked his
I, I,
voice.
w- I will say that the performer, I can't, Jordan, don't know how to say your last name, bro. Um, his reading was not bad. I have heard definitely worse. Um, but yeah, this was one of the creepy pastas we've ever listened to, Jared.
We should
I wouldn't
sprinkle in
okay,
some bad ones every once in a while.
yeah, but I wouldn't even say that this one's bad. Like really, it's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
If I'm brutally honest, if I'm genocidally honest with you, apparently according to this, um, it's just a very boring one. Um, so yeah, that's about all I got to say about this
Yeah.
perfect story. So
This just masterpiece.
this American classic
Did you have
or
another?
Australian classic.
Did you have another one for us next time?
I have another one, and going by the name of it, it's either going to be great or you'll be texting me like at 2 a.m. in the morning, like, "What did you do to me? Why? Why?" Because Jared texted me, he's like, I'm not gonna lie, this is triggering me. Like, what have you done? What have you done to me?" So yeah, the next one that we are going to listen to is called "The Brooding Star." It's kind of a Lovecraftian type of one. It's written by Matthew Varney. So hopefully we can get that in by next week. I think that's about it. What do you think, Jared?
Yeah, I think that's it for this one.
All right. Well, everybody, I hope you guys have had a good creep cast or creepy pasta cast with us. Had some good pasta with us. So yeah, everybody have a good night and stay creepy, everybody.
Go play
Bye.
Undertale.
You could.